Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be doing my Western Bulldogs vs Melbourne game review. Probably going to be a little bit shorter of a review this week. Just in general, we don't have any rookies to really look through this week as a whole, and in general I think I watched about a half, maybe a 3/4 of footy across the whole 9 games as I was away, and so there'll be sort of almost, I would say, timestamps in my head where I know players or specific players score. For instance, I think Trelaw was 77 or so, about 7 minutes into the third quarter, and I was a little bit worried about him going large. But stuff like that where I can say that, oh yeah, a guy was scoring pretty well. I don't know the specific positions, but just sort of in general, guys scoring well. As we look at, very much so, I think you can look at DFS's transition points against and stuff like that for inspiration for trade-ins. If you do have a particular, you can target particular players in general. But anyway, as I will be sort of using it as I did use it last week and showed you how it works. But anyway, let's jump into the video. Bontempelli 135, he was just tracking really well throughout the game. I remember he got off to a really hot start, and yeah, he was the VC pick. We thought, or at least I thought, Ghost Sam Flanders has the best matchup, and he went 73, he went 19 in the second half, I believe, and we'll get to that game later today. I'm going to do three recaps today, 4 on Tuesday and 2 on the Wednesday, alongside my usual video, I believe, on the, so it will be 3 videos on Wednesday, I believe, to get caught up again, as I do effectively am 2 videos behind. All of Sunday stuff is behind, so I will catch that up. But yeah, Bont, he tracked really well, and Bont's just one of those guys that has a really good, except for this 53. If you take that 53 out, I don't know what happened. I don't remember what happened in that game earlier this year. But if you take that out, his floor has been 71, 71, 81. He's got a really good floor, which is a really good thing, but he's also got that really high floor, but he's got that really high ceiling as well. Like, he's got a 159 in here, as well as like 140 games, 130 games, 149 here. So he's got a 159, 149, a 142, a 135, a 126, another 126 as well. So he's got, like, what's that? Did I just name 6 scores above 125? So that just shows you the power that he's got, as well as intermingled in there with, he's got that rare ability where I think he had this, I think it might have been this West Coast game here. In round 3, or it might have been this game here. One of these games where he scored a 103, or it just tipped over the 100 on 16 touches. Like, that shouldn't happen. He scored like 60% of his points through non-disposal work, just because he can rack up the tackles and marks. And I think he had like almost something very similar here: 21, 41, 53, 54, and then take away 2 points here. So he had 52 points in non-disposal points, which is absolutely huge. It's on about par for percentages for a 135 for what we expect out of him from a sort of a 100 type score. But he's able to do that, so he doesn't necessarily rely on getting 30 touches to get up there. Trelaw 116, as I said, I think he was on fire. Yeah, he did. So 7-minute mark. So here, then we say he got another 10 points here. So that would be 55, 87. So yeah, he was on 77 on this 8-minute mark of the third quarter. So I must have checked it probably around the 10 or 11-minute mark of time added on. Like, it was 13, or maybe it might have been 13:58 to go in the third quarter, and I saw him on 77, and I went, uh-oh. That was my initial reaction. That's why I said it was on 77 points with 7 minutes into the third. I didn't know it was 7:58 minutes, like 7 minutes time added on, which is even worse. But yeah, so he just absolutely smashed it in the first little bit, even kicking a goal here, which was not fun. 34 and 4, 2 goals as well. So if you took Trelaw, you'd be pretty happy. I wish I had Trelaw over the likes of Dunkley, now looking back on it, but it is what it is. I don't think I would have ever changed that decision now without hindsight, as you're going to go for the guy who's averaging 135 in their last 3, absolutely tearing it up, over Treloar. I mean, Treloar did have a really good matchup, so maybe, but Treloar was coming back off a hamstring, so that sort of neutralized that, that sort of, I think, positive and negative sort of neutralized itself. Dale, 114. Poulter, 112. Don't really look into that. Ugelhagen, 102. Kicked 2 goals, 6. If he can really get going, he can be absolutely huge. English, 98. Really good fourth quarter to get up there, but I think he's going to go for me this week just because, yeah, I've just messed up the rucks this year. I've had no read on the rucks, and yeah, other than Gawn, starting Gawn, that was about all that I read right of the rucks. I got the start of Tristan Cherry versus Grundy wrong. Then I got brought in a Marshall, stuffed that up with the injury and him going large. Brought in Grundy again when Tristan Cherry started going large again. And now I'm going to have to probably trade out Tim English because he's sort of had nothing scores here. I mean, there've been big scores, like a 131. I brought him in, I think, for the 116 and now a 91 and now a 98. So it's like he's averaging 104, 105 for me. But he's not doing Tristan Cherry's 150 type scenario or Rowan Marshall, who's got a plus 11 matchup for the rest of the year. So yeah, just not good enough, I would say. Williams, Richards, Libba, Darcy, Garcia, Bramble, etc. moving down. No one else here really matters too much. Caleb Daniels a watch next year. That's about all. Then we go to Gawn, and Gawn, 136 for him. He basically evened out his break even. 10, 13. He had 23 touches, 9 marks, and 44 hitouts. Just a huge game for him overall. And yeah, one to come back from injury from. I don't know if you can pick him for the rest of the year. I don't know if his matchups are... I think I looked at his matchups and I don't know if they were too kind anyway. So yeah, I don't think you would pick him. I think the 2 rucks to get for the rest of the season, if you're still battling with your rucks, like me, is Marshall. His ruck run for the rest of the years is absolutely huge. And then also Cherry, his ruck run or his scoring in general is off the charts. Rivers 101, he's actually, he's been up and down since round 13, but he's generally gotten enough to average, 95 or so. So he's generally been like a top 8 defender, I would say, in that run. I don't think he's got the capability like that of Newman to go on that 120 run for 4 weeks and include like 140s in there. But I think he's genuinely pretty good. I just think that he's probably going to be overvalued next year. As a defender midfielder, I would suspect, given that Petrarca went down in the buys. So I don't think he'll be valuable next year, but he could be valuable as a 7th defender this year. Bowie, Sparrow, Langdon, Van Rooyen, Neil Bullen, McVie. I was surprised Neil Bullen didn't go on to... I don't know exactly if he did or not, but looking at the scores, it doesn't look like it had any impact if he did or not. I'm surprised that that happened. I'm also surprised that the likes of James Jordan isn't going on to players as well. We'll look at that in the Port matchup. Port versus Sydney travesty. McVie, Oliver, 62. I just want to see him with the preseason as he's just... It is so hard to tell with him. He looks good one week, looks bad the next. He's scored 99, 63, 162. He scored 162 in 2-week blocks in 2 consecutive blocks. And then he's also got 154 in the week in that the block beforehand. So he's just doing 2-week blocks of 1 good game, 1 poor game. Well, Whedon, Fritsch, Viney down at 55 was also surprising. He's really fallen off this year, it feels like. Pickett, Tholstrop, McDonald, Monique, Wakefield, Paddy, Lever, May, Chandler, Howes, Turner, and Melksham. And that pretty much is the video. Trying to keep them very short, given that I don't have much to say about the actual game, positioning, etc. Just scores in general and what would be perceived as tags that I don't know if they actually genuinely went on. Because Neil Bullen should have been tagging Treloar, in all honesty, or Bailey Dale. And both of those two combined for a 115 average with a 116 and 114. So a little bit surprising there. But Western Bulldogs are coming home absolutely strong. Melbourne are on the edge, but I wouldn't be surprised if they find something. But yeah, Western Bulldogs win this game by 51 points. If you did end up enjoying the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on for future uploads, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.